Headphone highlights. RBMA Radio.
This is Delroy Edwards. You're listening to my Headphone highlights on Red Bull Music Academy Radio. Producer, DJ from Los Angeles, California. A lot of my music is self-released through my own label that I run with some friends and colleagues called LA Club Resource. I've also had releases out on Lies, Long Island Electrical Systems, a few other labels too. But mostly right now through my own stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much always been making music or kind of just messing around with it. I went to art school for a little bit. I made a lot of stuff there. And then I moved to New York and met up with Ron Morelli, who runs Lies, and started releasing with him. Worked with him at the shop, A1 Records in New York City. And that's it, pretty much. Came back here and started my own stuff with some of my buddies, and just putting out wax and tapes, and that's it. Music of all kinds. I mean, when I was growing up, I was listening to a lot of rap and jazz and R&B and funk and soul from my family. My mom was big into rap and dance hall and stuff like that, 'cause she's from Jamaica, and my dad is big into jazz and stuff like that. So I grew up listening to that. Being raised in LA, I got into a whole mess of stuff. I was listening to a lot of hardcore and punk and black metal and noise and just like aggressive shit. Yeah, and still listen to a lot of rap and stuff, but kind of I got into the hardcore and noise scene out here and just was intrigued by that. So I guess those were the early days. I was in New York because I had recently parted ways with the school that I was going to out here, Cal Arts, and then I needed to get a job, so I started sort of cooking out here. I was like cooking in restaurants and stuff because like you didn't have to have any like resume or anything. So I was like cooking, and then I got a job in New York cooking. And I have family up in the Bronx and in Manhattan, so I just went out there. And so I was like cooking in a restaurant in the Village for a while, and just kind of like working like crazy, not really doing music at all. And then I was still buying records a lot and like listening to music, and so I just would go to A1 on my days off and kind of spend all my money there, and that's where I met Ron. And then I got kind of fed up with like cooking. And so I tried to get a job there, and he hired me to work with him on the house shit. So I just kind of learned most of my knowledge about house music then, which was not super long ago, I guess. The first record I did was called Club Use Only, or For Club Use Only, it doesn't matter. And it was for Lies, and it came out in 2013 or 12, no 13, no 12, and that was the first one I did, and then I did like 3 more with him, and then that's pretty much all I've done with him. They're kind of just club records, DJ-able tracks. I was really excited to just release something because I've always wanted to do that in some form. I like have always made so much music, so I was like really stoked on it. But I think both me and Ron kind of thought that it would just be like whatever. I don't know. Like I'd never really made house music, and I was kind of like making house music for him, like something that I thought he would like for his label. You know, it wasn't really like this is who I am as an artist, and this is where I'm coming from. It was kind of just like a couple tracks that I made, and then he liked them. So. I mean, I'm super glad that it kind of went down that way. Just because, you know, a lot of people really liked it, and it kind of like, you know, as weird as it is, if I would have probably started out kind of just doing whatever I wanted, I probably wouldn't have as much of a reach in just the people because, you know, all sorts of people really like that record, and I really don't understand why. I'm not that into it because it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's cool. It sounds all right. You know, it's kind of like recorded in mono, so it doesn't really sound that great. And on a lot of borrowed gear, because at that time it was like I didn't really have much of anything, and I kind of just started accumulating stuff as I went on. So, Hieroglyphic Being, aka Jamal Moss, this track is like insane. It sounds crazy. It's like not really anything like definable to me. I mean, when I first heard it, I was just like, whoa, this dude's like out there. But it's like still like you could play it in a club and people will dance, or they'll do whatever. But it's like, it's just sounds crazy, and I liked it because of that, and because it was just like house music that kind of reminded me of like a lot of the stuff I kind of like grew up listening to. It just has a cool aesthetic. It just has a cool sound, and it's like a cool world, you know, that he like created in this song. first started buying house records, like when I first really started buying house records that were not old or not like made back in the day or something, he was like one of the first names I got into because it sounded just crazy, you know, just like all of his stuff sounded like crazy, but it was banging too, so I really liked his stuff. I still really like his stuff. I still play it like constantly.
RBMA Radio.
That track is called Straight Jacket. It's by Jerry's Kids, American Boston hardcore. I think it's from a compilation called, what's it called? Boston Not LA or something like that. Just like a bunch of Boston artists. Yeah, I like it a lot. I listen to this track a lot because it's just got so much power. And it's just like short, it's like to the point. It's just got like a lot of power. And that's just like, it's just it. It's just like dope. It's just like a banger for sure. The next track is by an artist called Insider. He is a recent sign of my label, LA Club Resource, and this is an excerpt from a live tape that he made. that we are putting out. It's gonna be out pretty soon. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, two-side tape of just like, this kid is like super nasty at live, you know, jams or whatever. Yeah, I just like listen to his music all the time, and that's why I wanted to like put out his music. He's from Brazil, and he's just nasty. His mind is crazy for like tracks, and they're pretty straightforward and to the point, which I like, and I'm super hyped for this tape to be out, because I think a lot of people will, you know, like to hear what he can do, sort of uninhibited by like trying to make a record or a track. He makes dope records too, but this is mostly just like a showcase of his live efforts, and it's dope. So the next track is by Lil Louis, and it's called War Games Ass Backwards Mix. It is recorded in the something 80s, definitely in the 80s or something like that. I like it because it's just like backwards, obviously, and that's cool. And it's just like the War Games itself is like kind of like a really like sort of punky track, which like he was making at a lot of that like super fast, like kind of like insane, like make you go crazy type stuff. Early Chicago, like, man, it's close to art, like that shit, because it's like, I mean, he made like a crazy track and then like did it backwards, and it's like, you know, it's just like cool. And I play it all the time because it's crazy and it still has like a nice beat, and it's got those great vocals in it, and it's just like, it makes people kind of feel like crazy, and that's why I got drawn to it, because it was something different and like bravado, like all over the place, you know what I mean? To do that at the time is just kind of like, you know, it's just hardcore. It's pretty like hardcore music. That's it.
Party wins. Let the games begin.
This is Ice-T, Dog in the Wax. I mean, this is the instrumental, so I guess Ice-T is not on it. But it's like the instrumental for Dog in the Wax by Ice-T and whoever produced it. But it's just like a dope track, and it's just like, it's like smacking, and it's got like amazing like rhythm, and like just like was different sort of than like those other like there was a lot of Ice-T tracks that were like really great, but this is like my favorite because it's just like it's like the beat is sick, man. Yeah, it's just like Ice-T is like, you know, if you're from LA and you're like into rap music, like you really respect Ice-T, you know? And you know, he does his Hollywood thing now, and it's like, it's dope. I just like wish he would make more music still, because I like really, really like, he was like, man, on the forefront of LA, just like fucking gangster, like mixed with like club, all sorts of stuff, man. He really reached so many like levels of just like being like one of the best. Yeah.
Surgeon General of Chilltown, New York, has determined that the sound you're about to hear can be devastating to your ear.
This track's called Pass the Brew. It's by MC Mac. MC Mac is from Memphis, Tennessee. Early Memphis rapper. This is early. This is real early. This is like when he was like young. And this is gonna be coming out on our label in the future sometime. So keep a lookout for that. Yeah, it's a dope track. It's like funny and it's like to the point. It's just like it's like got like a dope bass line and stuff. And MC Mac is like, he's kind of like homies with the crew. We've reached out to him and he's a great guy. He's like giving us a lot of info on that time. So this is when he was like, I guess, a teenager. Yeah, and I just like love it. We listen to it all the time, you know, when we're like packing boxes, because it's like that record that it's from, which is the Lost Files. It's just like, which is just like his early demos, just like cool stuff.
Hand me your 40 ounces, time to get messed up by a sip or two. Get a glass with some ice and fill it up with brew. I may be under 21, but yo, that's okay. The law ain't doing a thing about trying to stop liquor anyway. That's why brothers like me get it quickly in a minute. Don't ask me when I'm finished. Around the table and get a hit from the 8-ball, the Mad Dog and Thunderbird. Don't pour the rest on the curb. If you can't finish the brew, pass it round the table. It's bound to get drunk by a Mac with the iron stomach. Drink it fast, then it gets to your blood flow. If not affected by the 8-ball, drink the Cisco or get the wine bottles out. Me and the posse be tripping, yo G like we was dining out. But MC Mac is down with guzzling down brews in a minute, every hour and second. My liver's wrecking, that ain't stopping me none. Cause right now, the brew passing G has just begun. I'm never brutal when balling out. When we're messed up with sipping and tripping, burping and falling out. That's going down in the hood of the Max. Yo, Max side is always brewed up, but fool 'em not a wine, no. Share your 40 and relax while we max and drink it up till it's through. Cause all I want you to do is pass the brew, pass the brew. Won't you suck it on down till it's through? So pass the brew, pass the brew. Won't you suck it on down till it's through? So pass the brew. Pass the brew. Want you suck it on down till it's through. So pass the brew. MC Mac, lunatic, suave.
RBMA Radio.
This track's called Out of Vogue by Middle Class. Some more hardcore stuff. I guess California. I like this track because it's just like a good track. I don't know. There's not really much to be said because I don't really know much about them, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a good track. So the next tune is called She Cries by Phil Lynott. I think this is from the Phil Lynott Grand Slam, like some demos, like the later demos. Like Phil Lynott was the head man, front man for Thin Lizzy, which is like one of my favorite bands. And I love Phil Lynott. He's got a great voice and like dope bass player. And he just like, you know, he's got just the ill like soul mixed with like the mid-70s kind of like rock vibes. Even towards like his whole career has just been dope. He's like probably I'm most inspired by him. He's probably like in my top 4 musicians ever, probably. He's just the best. or Phil Lynott. It's by Thin Lizzy. It's called Johnny. I don't remember what record it's from. It's one of my favorite Thin Lizzy tracks. They got great tracks, and this is one of them. A lot of power, great songs across the board. So yeah, Johnny by Thin Lizzy.
Somewhere on the waterfront, Johnny's hiding with a gun. Swears he'll kill any man that tells his story. He ain't sorry for what he's done. He broke into a drugstore just to cure a daily need. Didn't mean to shoot the guard, but he was blinded by the greed. Oh Johnny, oh Johnny, oh Johnny, oh Johnny. See that nun? She's his sister. She doesn't know that he's gone bad. When they told her to his papa, it drove the old man mad. Just like his mama warned him from a dying bed. It's alright to lose your heart, but never lose your head. Oh Johnny, oh Johnny, oh Johnny, oh Johnny. Look out! Now the cops have got him surrounded, and he doesn't stop the hope. He wonders how we could be in so much trouble over just a little dough. 5 to 1, he gets away. That's the odds I'm gonna give. 5 to 4, they blast him away. 3 to 1, he's gonna live. Oh Johnny, oh Johnny, oh Johnny, you better run. Oh Johnny, oh Johnny. Back in the alley where he was slain, thought I heard something move. Beside the trash can lay a heart and chain. The picture had been removed. Just another junkyard juice, looking for a bed. It's alright to lose your heart, but never lose your head. Oh Johnny, oh Johnny, oh Johnny, oh Johnny. Look out!
This is Devo, title unknown. I mean, I ripped it off of VHS. It's like the intro. I mean, it's like from a... I don't even know the name of the Devo. It's like one of those Devo videos of like all their videos. And I guess it was just like the scene where they're like... They got their masks and they're like walking into like this factory. And I think it's like for like the Secret Agent Man video or something like that. But it's just like a little snippet of these weird sounds. And then like these, you know, those like early Devo drums come in. They're like electronic drums or whatever. And I just have like resonated with it for many years. You know, just, I mean, I love Devo. I love all their music, but just this little clip, like it's just short and it's just like, it's got these drums, man. And the drums just drive me crazy. I love it. I listen to it so much. There's a lot of weird Devo shit out there, I feel like, that it's probably not released. like that. I mean, if there's that, like, I've been thinking about that for forever. If he made that, I wonder what else they got. This track is by the Ramones. Yay. Time Bomb from Subterranean Jungle. That was the first Ramones record I ever got when I was a kid, and I still have the CD, and I love it. It's so good. And I've always loved this track. I mean, even though there's no Joey vocals on it, which is kind of like when you hear the Ramones, you want to hear Joey, but this is Dee Dee kind of wailing about wanting to kill his parents and shit, and it's just it's cool, man. It's got the cool not electronic, but the drums were a little bit 80s gated reverbs and big sounds, but it was weirdly lo-fi sort of that record, I love that record. Okay, Street Fighter by Steve Poindexter, Trackmaster Scott, and Johnny Key. This was unreleased until last month, 2 months ago, when we released it. It is a unreleased record of those three dudes made in the 90s, I guess, in Chicago. Steve Poindexter, a house legend. And the other dudes, Trackmaster Scott and Johnny Key, have had some their hands in a lot of other, I think, early Chicago kind of house tracks. But this is just it's always cool to hear something by Steve that I've never heard. He's one of my favorites, And I've been in touch with him for a while. I've been man, send me something that's nobody's heard, And he sent through the Street Fighter. And I was this is great. And so we put it out.
You're listening to Red Bull Music Academy Radio.
I mean, that's the best. That's pretty much the best feeling. It's like the whole reason between that and then actually like getting it done and like seeing it out or seeing it in a store, or hearing about someone being like, "Yo, I saw that in a store. That's dope." You like actually did it, put it out, you know? Because it's hard. It's hard to put out wax, but that's a whole other story. But like, I don't know. It's the best, man. I love it. I listen to everything that anybody would send me. Everything, regardless of what it is or who you are or anything like that, you know? That's like, it's like my favorite thing to do is to just listen to music that other people have made and it's not out or they have no name for themselves yet or whatever. I mean, that's more attractive to me than listening to something that like some guy's got like a whole following already. I mean, for that, it has to be something like really, and that's where the Steve Poindexter stuff comes into play, because he's like, yo, I don't know if anyone's ever heard this stuff between like me and my buddies, you know? And so that was extra special because like he's just like a god, and like he sent me like a bunch of tracks that just have never seen the light of day, and I listen to him all the time. You know, there's like some stuff where he was like, yo man, like I think like this was played once at like the Music Box by Ron Hardy, you know, off like a Reel to Reel or something like that. Like he was like, and then like nothing, you know, or like something like that. And I'm like, damn, like that is just like a trip. Like, I mean, you know, people and their fucking money these days, I'm sure they would like pay to like, you know, get insight into like whatever. But I mean, it just takes like, you know, some good friends and like just like curiosity in the shit. And, you know, he like kind of opened up and shared a bunch of stuff, just like all the other like kids and people do that like send music. You know, it's like cool, man. It's like never been heard or whatever. That's like very attractive to me. Die Motherfucker, yeah. I mean, this is like, it's just a stupid track I made, and I put it on my last record, and because I really like it, you know. It's got like Scarface sample and some other like sample, and then I just played some like weird like bass line on it. Just put some drums, you know, simple, and then pressed it, and it was on my last record. And I feel like probably a lot of people don't like it. I don't care though. I really like it. It's not house music or anything. It's kind of just like, I don't know. The dude who mastered it did a great job of mastering it, because it's pretty, you know, pretty bad sounding it was before. But that's it. Die Motherfucker. The next track is called Straight Fucked by Me. I don't think the name was Straight Fucked originally. I think that was a miss. I'm sure there's a lot of versions of this. That doesn't even fucking matter. It's off the same record as the last track, and it's just like a beat track, made with the same setup as the last one, but not there's like 808s and some like weird sounds, some like flanger. Yeah, and it just like kind of made it just kind of fucking around, yeah. And it's on the last record. I play it actually. Mostly when I play like stuff that's not out yet, and this is kind of the main track that I kind of play every night because I like the rhythm. I'd like to thank people that have supported my music and just kind of like my whole like the vibe that we do and the label and everything. And I like the fact that some people supported buying the records from us and just in shops. And I think that that's great because there's a lot of people who worked really hard to like make them and to put them out for you guys to listen to. So, give yourself a fucking pat on the back for that. This is Delroy Edwards once again. You've been listening to my headphone highlights on the Red Bull Music Academy radio. I hope you enjoyed listening to these great tracks because I really enjoy them myself. And, have yourself a nice whatever.
Here we go.